Hey there, so in this video we are going to see how we can accept inputs inside the array. Okay, so let's say we have an array of a fixed size, let's say of size 10, and we want to accept input from the user, and user will enter the input and that input will be stored into the array. So simple statement. Okay, so let's start with creating an array. So I'll create one, let's say float array. Let me name it as FARR. Let's say this is of size 10. So right now I'm not initializing it because I want to get the values from the user. So this array is uninitialized. That means initially or at this point when the code will execute, it will have some garbage values. Okay, so over here, if I write a for loop, in this case size is 10, so I'll write hard coded value I plus plus, and let's print content of FARR followed by comma. Oh shit, over here I'll need to write FARR of I followed by semicolon, and then at the end of the for loop I'll write coutndl. Let's see what we get. So I'll clear the terminal. Let me compile this code. This is user IP. Let me execute it. You can see it is printing some garbage values. If I execute it multiple times, you can see every time I'm executing it, the values are kind of getting changed. Okay, you can see it was minus 1 point something something, but over here it is minus 7.8. okay, you can't predict what values it's going to show because these values are like random values. That's why we are calling them as garbage values. And why these values are coming? Because we are not initializing our array. Okay, if we initialize our array, if we put some valid content into the array, then we are not going to face this problem. So in this case, our use case is to accept the input from the user. Now in order to accept the input from the user, you will need to accept the input of individual element. Okay, so basically you will need to write a for loop, and in that for loop you will need to get the input. So let's do that. See, I'll write a for loop which will start from 0 and it will go till 10, and then in every iteration I will increment I by 1. So then it's very simple. What we just need to do is we'll need to cin, we'll need to take a value and store it in ARR, not ARR, FARR of I. That's it. See, basically user will type one value that will be stored in the first element, then next value will be in second element, and so on. In this way it will accept 10 values from the user and 10 values will be stored into an array, and then after that we are printing the array. So let's see whether this works or not. Let me clear the terminal and let's compile and execute this code. You can see it is waiting for us. Okay, it is waiting for us to enter some input. So let's enter 10 different numbers one after another. So I'll enter 1, then 2, then 3, then 4, then 5, then 6, then 7, then 8, and then 9, and then one more 10. So you can see it waited for us to enter 10 number, and then after that you can see the array is getting printed, and now you can see the array is having correct values. Okay, so in this way, using cin only, you can get the input from the user. You just need to remember that you need to accept individual element. Okay, you cannot accept the entire array at once. You will need to accept individual element using a loop.